Swastiastu. All right, my name is Agus Wiguna, and I'm from class 8 to Morning and Pasar. So, this video presentations, I would like to present the final project of seminar. Um, so let's get started with my um, title of my seminars is the effect of using UMTV on fourth semester's English language education students speaking skills in Universitas Hindu Negeri Gusti Bagus Wibowo Denpasar. Okay, next. Backgrounds of the study. So we talk about the communications. It's very important and always advanced and the days of globalizations. So in order to learning, teaching, and process engaging, the teachers could get every students more involved in the classroom, more life, and more have relations with the others while use application. In this case, we use OMTP as the applications video calls that we could meet with random people or connect with other people worldwide. Fadli 2024. And then with this application, we could make our learning process and also our learning progress and speaking, especially more fun, various this, and get challenges and improve. So that's just the background of this study. So I have two research questions here. The first one is about the students' perception when using UMTV fourth semester English language education student speaking skills in the hand. So I'm focusing on student perceptions here. And the second research questions about the impact of OMTP on the fourth semester in the English language education student speaking in skills in OHN. So the focus on number one is about in the impact in using the OMTP in the speaking skills. Okay, let's move to the research objectives. So the next is research objectives. It's this study target to investigating the effect of using OMTP on fourth semester English language education student speaking skills. And the second one is the studies aims to investigating the influence of the effect of using OMTP on fourth semester English language education student in UHN. Scope of the study. We talk about the scope of study next. So in my studies, it's focused on the fourth semester's English language education students in a speaking skill. Then in investigating the effect of the OMTP to their speaking skill. In this study also limited because speaking and understanding. So the study will not evaluating the other language skills such as grammar, writing, listenings, and readings. So we need durations here. It takes for 5 until 6 weeks, which provides limited time. And then for the next, what the findings? As a student, we are previous exposure to English, access personal device, and individual learning preference were beyond the scope of the study in 1.4.5 in the theoretical significance. This research assists the developments of the theories of use technology in MTP. In the practical significance, there's for teachers while use this MTP might help to design the technology based on teaching strategies. Furthermore, teachers could use this as learning tools or media to help them to teach their students. Next, about research scope and limitation. This research focused on to find out the effect of using OMTP applications on the academic speaking skills of the fourth semester students in the English Education Department at the UAN. So this study involved five components of speaking ability, which are fluency, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciations, and comprehension. Moreover, this research also explores the students' perceptions. While my research questions seems like my research questions. In order to support their academic speaking development, so we need the perceptions of the students about OMTP. So the scope of this is very limited, where the students in the academic writing course, especially in year 2025, with both qualitative and quantitative approaches. I used both approaches. There are settings also the about this study first. So I conducted this study in a short time without exploring long term. And also, while using this kind of OMTP, we should use the editions device to support this OMTP like a PVN. Next, about the theoretical framework. Uh, so why should I use this um OMTP? It's because I we need new relations and entertainment, so OMTP will be chosen. Uh, will be chosen, and from the kind of the OMTP we can communicate and use a speaking skill through the technology ability. From that kind of terms, we move to the speaking aspect. From the speaking aspect, we got the grammar, vocabulary, content, pronunciations, and clarity. I got it from above. It based on citation I got. And from the connection from MTV, we need our flight hours and also student mentality. So from that things, we can got the speaking for academic purposes. And from that, speaking for academic purposes, we will get the impact of the MTV application, also the students' perceptions about using MTP to improve, no, to the impact of using MTP and speaking from the student perceptions or point of view. Okay, we move to the research designs. So this research use experimental research in a study that's a test, concept, method, and also process means the impact of the dependent variable or the outcome. So the experiments is used to look for the potential causes and the effects between the independent and dependent variables. Ramadana and Allo 2021. Experimental design is not used to improve an object, but see what is the effect on the object. Among the education majors, this experimental approaches is the common used. Experimental research provides the more natural settings and object. The comparisons of the teaching approaches could fit for the educational field. This study was conducted to know the students' perceptions well after contrasting and comparing with the former research or the research related with it. Next, about the place and time of research. So this research conduct in UAN, Igusti Bagus Rigo dan Pasar. Specifically in the language education study program semester 4, I mean not 3. The selections of this allocation was carried out prospectively. Consider the semester four students have acquired the basic of English language skills and are entire a more complex stage of developing speaking skills. Therefore, they are considered as the right subjects to assess their effectiveness. So, yeah, the effectiveness of technology, and here we use augmented applications. In see the speaking skills impact. So the research implementation times plans about 6 weeks. It's starting from July to August 2025. This schedule includes the following stage. First, the socialization and implementation of the pretest to the students. So we give the pretest to the students, and after that, next to the 5 weeks, the implementation of the treatment, such as learning using of the MITV applications, which is directed and practical speaking with the native speakers. 6 week implementations of the post-test, and we are giving the post-test to the students and filling out the perception questionnaires to the students to know how the output of the perceptions while use OMTP in speaking skills. Next, talk about the population and research sample. Population in this study were all third semester students of the English language education study at the University of Agus, UAN. Based on academic data, there were around 80 active students in this semester on this semester because this study used a simple experimental approach and not the entire population was to use to research sampling technique was in use of recursive sampling, which is the selections samples based on certain consideration. The sample selection criteria include the active student in the 4 semesters, have access to devices to support the use of the multiple applications, willing to participate in the entire series of the research activities. And from the selection results, 30 students were obtained who met the criteria and were willing to become respondents. This number is considered adequate for experimental research with pre-test and post-test design. And let's move to the data collection technique. So in this study or research, I used 2 types of data collection technique. For example, is speaking disability test. This test is conducted twice before and after treatment. The aims of these measures to extends to which the use of multiple has an impact on improving student speaking ability. Test is designed by considering 5 aspects of speaking skill, fluency, grammars, and comprehensions. Student perception questionnaires. So this is applies a survey method using questionnaire and collect data. Questionnaire is tools consisting of writing questions and statement that must be answered by the participant. In the study, use like scale regarding the response and experience perception in the using of multiple applications. So the answer will given from very positive to very negative. So the researchers use the Likert scales in the form of the check mark for each answer choice. So for the instrument, consider speaking test instruments. This was created based on Harris 1974 speaking assessment rubrics, which includes 5 specs. Assessment aspect, the test was conducted orally and recorded to be assessed by 2 raters to increase the objectivity of the assessment. And for the perceptions questionnaire, this questionnaire contains statements that describe students' view on ODP as a learning medium. Statements in the questionnaires are arranged based on indicators of perception, learning motivation, and effectiveness and technology-based learning. And for the instrument validations, we use the validity, also known as construct validity, that aims to measure the extent to which the statement items or questionnaire truly reflect the intent, construct, or variable. For example, students' perceptions of the use of multiple applications, speaking, learning, and validity in this test was carried out using the person product moment correlation formula. And for the prerequisite analysis test, so before conducting a hypothesis test, the pre-test and also the post-test data must meet the basic statistical assumptions. For example, the normality test and homogeneity test. So this prerequisite test is very important to determine the type of statistical test, parametric and non-parametric. That's appropriate to use in the hypothesis testing. Okay, let's move to the normality test. The normality test conducted decide the student speaking ability score data before and after treatment has normal distributions. The normal distribution, the main requirement for using parametric tests. And for the homogeneity test, the homogeneity test aims to determine whether the variance between two groups data pre-test and post-test has similarities or homogeneity. Although only one group is test twice, this test can be used in the consistency of variance between types. And I think that's all for the final project's presentations. I do apologize if there's a mistake for me, and thank you for the attentions. I close this with Paramasanti. Om Santi Santi Santi.